Hey, Charles here with Rocky Mountain, and today we're going to be showing you how to install your LC8C engine back into your bike. Again, we are working on a Norden 901. It's going to be a similar process for the 790s and 890s, but you're going to see some differences with the bodywork. So make sure you reference your model specific service manual throughout the process. Now, I do want to point out that we do have our subframe off. I went ahead and removed the airbox since we did suck some dirt through that airbox. So I got it all cleaned out, and I also glued the intake boots to help prevent future issues. So all that said, let's go ahead and jump into the process. To get this done, we're going to be using a lot of the same tools we used for removal, but we're going to be adding some torque wrenches to the mix. And then once you have everything installed, make sure that you're putting in some fresh fluid. So we've got our Tusk 4-stroke oil change kit that comes with the oil filter as well. We've got a little bit of high temp gasket maker. We're going to be applying just a little bit of that to the header gaskets to help hold them in place while we install the headers. We're also going to be installing a brand new air filter. Before you install that, make sure you look down in the air box and verify that you don't have any dirt down in there. And if you do, make sure you get that cleaned out. Other than that, fresh coolant. We've got some medium and high strength thread locker and some waterproof grease. Now, if you need any of these maintenance items or special tools, you can find that stuff on our website by clicking the link in the description below. To start out, I recommend having a friend help you set the engine on your bench underneath the bike. We've got this pancake jack that we're using. I'm going to start raising that up, and I've got the engine tilted back just a little bit. And then we're going to rock the engine forward. We're paying attention to all the wires and hoses. You don't want to catch on any of those, but make sure they are roughly in the correct spots. And as I rock this forward, I'm using the 2 lower mounting bolts for the front. Those are going to be the M10 by 40 millimeters long. We're going to apply some medium strength thread locker onto them. Then we're just loosely threading both of those in. And then for the back, before we finish raising this up, what you want to do, this wire for the side stand switch, that whole bracket, we want to roughly set this in place. I'm going to put the bolts in a minute, but you have to do this now, otherwise you're not going to be able to get it in there. So we'll go ahead and raise this up, make sure everything stays aligned and in its place. And then at this point, I'm going to get the bracket out of the way. So I'm going to go ahead and install the upper screw. And before I torque that, I'm actually going to back it off a hair, and I'm going to get everything else lined up. And then for the swing arm pivot bolt, you want to apply just a little bit of grease or anti-seize to it just to prevent it from corroding. We're going to be going through this left foot peg bracket. I've already got this bolt installed on the end. Then make sure the collars on the swing arm are in place. We're going to line up this swing arm pivot with the frame and the hole in the engine. We can go ahead and install that lower screw. We're going to tighten the bottom and the top to 3.7 foot-pounds. And then even though we have that swing arm pivot bolt in place, I'm going to raise the engine just a little bit just to perfectly line up the upper front mounting bolt location. And these are going to be the M10 by 45 millimeter bolts, again with medium strength thread locker on them. And do the same on the other side. Next, we're going to set the engine hanger in place, and we're going to start with the M10 by 60 bolt. Again, medium strength thread locker. Pretty much everything moving forward on the engine mounting bolts and foot peg brackets are going to use medium strength thread locker. And then on the other side, we have the M8 by 50 millimeter bolts. After that, I'm going to get my jack out of the way. Now, before we finish mounting up the foot pegs, we want to mount the pre-silencer because we need those foot pegs moved to get access to this. So make sure the collars are in the grommets. We'll slide that up through the bottom, install the 3 bolts with the collars from the outside as well, and torque them to 18.4 foot-pounds. Next, we're going to install all of the hardware on the left foot peg bracket. Make sure you line up both pieces. Now we can install all of the hardware on the right foot peg bracket. Again, line up both pieces. Make sure you have medium strength thread locker on all of your hardware. And at this point, we can start to tighten things down. So all of the M10 bolts, we're gonna be torquing those to 33.2 foot-pounds. And then for the M8 bolts, we're gonna be torquing those to 18.4 foot-pounds. And then for the swing arm pivot bolts, we're gonna torque those on each side just to make sure both are all the way tightened down. We're gonna torque them to 73.8 foot-pounds. Now, since we loosened up this upper shock bolt, we need to pull it all the way out. We're gonna apply some high strength thread locker to it and reinstall it and torque it to 59 foot-pounds. Then we can reinstall the rubber cap. Now we can set the brake lever into position. We've got medium strength thread locker on the bolt end. We're gonna torque this to 18.4 foot-pounds. Next, I'll put a little grease on this push rod and slide it into place. We'll install the cover and torque these bolts to 7.4 foot-pounds and reattach the spring. Next, we're gonna clean up the throttle body. So with this, we're just gonna wipe it down with a rag. We don't want any contact cleaner going where it shouldn't. Raise the battery box up with our pry bar again, just to make this easier. And then once you have these cleaned up, you can go ahead and install them onto the bike. Make sure if you have the intake ports covered up that you pull out any rags. And we've got a little bit of silicone spray on these boots right here. Gonna clip my fuel injectors in. For some reason, I disconnected those. We're coming in from the left side of the bike, and once you have the intake boots lined up, you can go ahead and press down on these and make sure they are all the way seated onto the cylinder head. Now, as you do this, it's really important to make sure you don't pinch any hoses or trap any connectors where they shouldn't be, so pay attention to your wiring. Once everything looks good, go ahead and tighten down the hose clamps. Then we're gonna reconnect our evap line. All right, now on the left side of the bike, we've got some connectors to plug in. So I'm gonna start right here on the throttle body. Make sure all of these connectors are clean as they go together. Make sure they click all the way down into place. This one has a little tab on top to lock it into place. And these 3 wire looms for our sensors, we need to route these up by that clutch cable and above the throttle body. And we can plug those in as well. Then we're going to route the stator wires and crankshaft position wires up and clip those into place as well. Then we just have these hooks on the back of the frame that we're going to run a zip tie through around the wires and secure them down. Next, we're going to position the subframe and the airbox. It might be useful to have a friend help you do this. We're going to start with these lower bolts. We're going to pull up on the subframe. That's going to help push the air boots onto the throttle bodies. Then we can install the upper bolts. Make sure that you have the spacers installed, and we're using medium strength thread locker on these bolts. Then we're gonna torque all 4 of these to 36.9 foot-pounds, and make sure you tighten up any hardware that you loosened up on the subframe. We'll go ahead and tighten down the clamps. Next, we're gonna remove this pry bar from the battery box. We'll set that into place and install those bolts. And then we've got this tail harness. We're gonna run this all the way to the back. I'm gonna plug in my sensor. I also have this plastic holder to screw in. We've got 2 zip ties right here. After that, we're gonna install our front sprocket. You might need to loosen up your rear axle nut and get some slack in the chain to get this on. With everything positioned, we're gonna apply high strength thread locker to the bolt. We'll put that spring washer on. Then I'm gonna have someone hold the rear brake. We're gonna torque that to 44.3 foot-pounds. If you remove the axle, when you go to torque that down, the torque is gonna be 66.4 foot-pounds. At this time, the manual wants you to make sure all that's plugged in and you don't have any tension on these wires. So since we've already done that, we're going to the other side to plug in some sensors. First thing we're gonna do is plug in this oil pressure sensor on top. We got this wire down to the coolant temp sensor. Next, we're gonna run the positive cable down to the starter motor, and we also have these 2 ground cables. I'll install the 2 ground cables first. The torque on these is 7.4 foot-pounds. And then with the positive cable going to the starter, just be really careful. You do not want to over tighten it because you can break that post, but the torque is 7.4 foot-pounds. After that, we're going to connect our clutch cable and mount the clutch cable bracket and torque those to 7.4 foot-pounds. All right, next we want to make sure we have the correct adjustment on this arm right here. We had way too much play in our lever, so to make sure this is right, what we're going to do, loosen this bolt up first. Take a flat blade screwdriver. You're going to rotate this lever all the way counterclockwise. Hold that there while you push the lever clockwise. And then we're going to tighten this screw down to 7.4 foot-pounds. Double check the free play in your lever and you should be good to go. Now we can install the new O-ring onto the crankcase vent tube and add some grease. We'll remove our towel from the hole and press this into place. Place the clip over this and then we can torque this bolt to 5.9 foot-pounds. Next, we're gonna plug in our ignition coil on the right side of the bike. We've got this little bracket that's gonna hook into this metal tab, and I'm just gonna help secure these wires down with a zip tie. Now we can install this coolant hose and tighten up the clamps. So on this left side of the bike, we have all of this wiring connected right here. I just wanna make sure it's all secured down, so if there's any loose wires that are gonna flap around, just put a zip tie around them. Now for this upper radiator hose, it's kind of hard to see, but we're just going onto the thermostat we previously installed with that big end of the hose and then the small end up to the radiator. Next, we're going to mount the 3 bolts that hold the charcoal canister bracket. We've got medium strength thread locker on them. And when you do this, just make sure all your hoses are routed correctly and none of them are getting pinched. We'll torque them to 18.4 foot-pounds. Now we'll wipe up our engine so we can fill it with new oil. Now for the exhaust, we're going to be replacing the exhaust donut. The header gaskets, I'm applying just a little bit of high temp silicone sealant to each of them. We're going to stick those in place. And then on the pre-silencer, I did loosen up the couple of bolts that you can access with your foot pegs already on. We're going to set the header in place. I'm going to install one of these flanges and put at least one of these nuts on to kind of hold it there. And then we're going to go back to the first clamp. You want to install this so the bolt is facing up, and this is the clamp with the M8 bolt. And we're going to be leaving all of the hardware loose until one of the final steps. We'll go ahead and install the remaining header flange bolts. Then we can set the muffler in place. Again, we've got that new donut gasket, and this bolt is going to have that tapered washer. And I'm using a little bit of anti-seize on a lot of this hardware. And then once you have everything loosely installed, you want to start at the front of the exhaust and work your way back and get everything tightened down. The nuts for the header are going to be torqued to 14.8 foot-pounds. The M8 clamp bolt is going to be torqued to 8.9 foot-pounds. The M6 clamp bolt is going to be torqued to 5.9 foot-pounds. And then the screw holding the muffler on, that's going to be torqued to 11.1 foot-pounds. And then if you did loosen up the bolts on the pre-silencer, go ahead and tighten those back down. Now for the O2 sensor wires, we're coming through that little crack right there. This side will clip into. And then the connector that does not match on this side, we're going to feed it straight over across to the left side of the bike. And we'll clip that in and we're going to secure our wires. Now I do want to point out that the crankshaft position sensor wire and our stator wires, I did do a little reroute with those. So I'm going in front of the bar right here up by this holder. If you remember from disassembly, there's two little brackets on the front of this frame. We're going to use some zip ties. Again, it's really hard to see, but we're going straight up the frame right to the connectors. Next, install your sprocket cover and torque those bolts to 3.7 foot-pounds. Position the shift lever where you want it, and then we're going to install that bolt and torque it to 10.3 foot-pounds. We've got medium strength thread locker on there. Reinstall the horn. Next, we're going to install the engine guard, and we're going to torque those bolts to 18.4 foot-pounds. We'll fill the radiator with coolant. It's helpful to squeeze the lines, and that's going to help any bubbles work to the top and make sure we get all the air out. Next, we're going to set the fuel tank in place. I'm going to wait to put the rubber grommets on. And then with this sitting in place, I'll put all 4 grommets on the inside first. And then we're going to install the spacers with their grommets and the bolts. Once you have all of those threaded in, you're going to torque them to 18.4 foot-pounds. Next, we're going to reinstall the A and D vent lines. And then on the bottom, we've got an electrical connector on each side. We also need to connect our fuel line and install the clamps. And then for the high pressure line, we need to make sure it's nice and clean. So we did cover it up, but just to make sure we didn't get any dirt in there, what I'm going to do is reconnect my battery. I've got a measuring cup with the high pressure fuel line in it. I'm going to cycle the key. It's going to run some fuel through. Then just make sure the green clip is backed off. Install that high pressure fuel line. Make sure it's clipped on all the way, and then lock it in with the green clip by pushing it up. Make sure it's fully seated. Next, we'll line up our skid plate and get this installed. You can reinstall your panels, and we'll start this bike up. Then after running the bike, let it cool down, and you're going to want to double check your fluids and top them off if necessary, and also check for any leaks. All right, there you have it for the full engine rebuild series for the KTM Group LC8C engines. Again, 790s, 890s, 901s. This was a big project, but you're going to have the satisfaction of a job well done, and it's going to save you a lot of money by doing this yourself. So with the right tools and a little bit of time, you're going to be able to get it done. If you need any parts, you can find that stuff on our website. Click the link in the description below. Orders over $75 ship free. By the way, we have those OEM parts available on there as well. Now, with that being said, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm Charles with Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Thanks for watching.